After Seogyeon shares his feelings in front of everyone, Miso says she wants to clear up any misunderstandings, and she gathers her courage and tells Young-joon that she likes him. He hugs her, but when he tries to kiss her, a painful memory suddenly hits him again. Miso notices his hesitation, reaches up gently, and kisses him with care, and when she pulls away, he softly smiles and leans in again, his fears gone. They go for a walk, and Young-joon says he wants to make things clear. We are not just something anymore, we are really together now, right? Oh, you are so cute, yet still so arrogant. He teases Miso for her formal response, which makes her laugh and walk ahead proudly, her head held high. Young-joon calls after her, grinning like a kid, let's go together. My woman, and poor Miso looks like she'd happily crawl into the nearest hole. Flustered and pink-faced, she lowers her head, but Young-joon enjoys her reaction so much. He yells, my woman, several more times, just to see her blush even harder. He drops Miso off at her door, then just stands there, looking reluctant to say goodbye. He reminds her that he's smart, healthy, rich, and competent, listing each quality with dramatic flair, in case she forgot in the last 5 minutes, and he asks her again to marry him. Miso points out that they've been together less than an hour, nervously wondering if he's moving too fast, and he mutters under his breath, and who's the one who rushed first? Young-joon smiles all the way home, remembering the little girl Miso that he met so long ago. She'd insisted that he marry her after saving her from the house where they were locked up, and even made him promise with a pinky swear, like it was fate. He makes a U-turn and goes right back to Miso's apartment, saying it's just in case she misses him terribly all night long. He jokes that he never gives second chances, but he wants to give her a second and even third chance to see him. He asks cheekily if she feels lucky and touched to be special to him, and he wishes her sweet dreams, which she knows means to dream of him. Young-joon asks for one more hug, and says softly that he'll be having sweet dreams tonight, too. Miso finally shoos him home, reminding him that he has a big meeting in the morning. She plays it cool, acting like it's no big deal, but when she gets inside, she immediately runs to the window to watch him driving away. Her heart races as she watches his car disappear into the night. Young-joon makes it home and catches his reflection in the mirror, and he futilely tells his mouth to stop curling up like that. He even tries to scold himself, but the smile won't fade. He even smiles in his sleep. It's adorable and peaceful, like he's truly happy for once. Miso dreams of Oppa, and making him promise to marry her. She wakes, thinking that Oppa was supposedly Seogyeon, but feeling confused. The dream feels too real, and the boy in it doesn't feel like Seogyeon. In the morning, Yoshik carefully backs out of Young-joon's office, worried that his friend is acting strange lately. He tells Miso that Young-joon has been nodding off all day, and she says he even overslept this morning. Yoshik offers to show Miso something fun, and they creep into Young-joon's office, where he's fast asleep on the couch. His arms are folded, and his breathing is steady, a rare sight. Young-joon answers groggily when Yoshik whispers to him, and Yoshik and Miso giggle that his mind never shuts off even when he's sleeping. Yoshik asks if something happened to create a cognitive shift, but he gets a call from Mayum before Miso can answer. She glances at Young-joon, wondering if she should say anything. Miso covers Young-joon with a blanket and sits to look at his sleeping face. She remembers that he had a nightmare the last time she did this, but she thinks that he looks more relaxed this time. His expression is soft, almost like a child's. She starts to leave, but he grabs her wrist and pulls her into his arms, unconcerned that someone might come in and see them. It's impulsive and warm, and catches her completely off guard. Miso is flustered, But Young-joon tells her to expect this much when she awakens someone's slumbering desires. That flusters her even more, and he tells her to get used to it because he won't slow down. His voice is teasing, but his eyes are serious. She asks if he's feeling well, since he's sleeping so much today. He says a huge weight was lifted from his shoulders yesterday, and he doesn't think he'll have nightmares anymore, either. He tells her that he's not ill anymore, and she notices that anymore and asks if Seogyeon is really her oppa. Her voice is gentle but filled with uncertainty. Young-joon says that she's asking an obvious question, so Miso explains that she keeps feeling like he's really oppa because of his scars and traumatized behavior. There's a quiet sadness in her tone. Young-joon tells Miso that it would be great if someone she likes is the oppa she's been looking for, but he says he's not him, and that his scars and nightmares have nothing to do with that. His voice is calm, but there's something guarded in his expression. He asks if it changes her feelings about him, and Miso shakes her head no. She says she likes him no matter what, and leaves him to finish his nap. As she walks away, she smiles quietly, knowing her heart has already chosen him. Back at her desk, Miso overhears Jia on the phone with her movers, who are moving her things into her new apartment today. Jia says that she'll focus more on work now that she lives closer, and Miso reminds her that she's late for a meeting. She gives her a gentle nudge, smiling as Jia hurries off in a rush. Miso declines a call from Seogyeon, who's waiting to talk to his agent. She's thrilled at the response after his book concert, but Seogyeon isn't interested in the interviews he's offered. He stares at his phone without energy, and his agent says sadly that she loved when he confessed to his first love, but Seogyeon just looks downcast. There's no excitement in his eyes, just quiet disappointment. At lunchtime, Young-joon wants to take Miso to eat, noting that it will be the first meal they've had together since they started dating. Miso behaves like a good secretary, offering to make a list of nice restaurants that serve his favorite dessert, but they both feel like this isn't how couples should interact. The mood feels stiff, and neither knows how to cross the line between work and love. They still feel awkward over lunch when they realize that it was Young-joon's idea to celebrate their new relationship, but Miso did all the work. She even waits on him so attentively that the waiter remarks that she seems more like Young-joon's secretary than his date. The comment lingers between them, making them both a little embarrassed. After lunch, Young-joon suggests they go to a movie. Miso says very stiffly that it's not right to skip work for personal reasons. Young-joon sighs that it's confusing how she sometimes acts like his secretary and sometimes his girlfriend. He rubs his temple in frustration, unsure how to bridge the gap. He says that her previous way of supporting him, like pouring his water at lunch, makes him look like a bad guy now. Miso says it's her job to look after his comfort, so Young-joon asks her only to support him on work-related issues, and he'll take care of his own personal needs. He says he may be a selfish boss, but he doesn't want to be a selfish boyfriend. His tone is firm but sincere, and Miso listens quietly, taking his words to heart. Yoshik's regular driver is out, so Mayum drives him to a meeting while he reviews the paperwork. He's in a good mood until he sees a man and woman crossing the street in front of his car, and Mayum recognizes the woman as his ex-wife. Yoshik stiffens, caught off guard, as Mayum's smile slowly fades in realization. The next time Young-joon leaves his office, Miso asks if he needs anything, and he says he needs her to be indifferent and lazy. He goes down to the copy room, where the office team reels in shock to find him making his own copies. Their eyes go wide, and they freeze like statues at the sight. They all clamber to take over, but Young-joon says he's already mastered the copy machine. He declares it proudly, almost like a personal achievement. The team is even more surprised when they learn that Miso was at her desk the whole time Young-joon was making his own copies. She's just as surprised to hear what Young-joon did, and she gives him a weak smile when he proudly points at the copies, then himself. She's touched by the effort, even if it's clumsy, and can't help but smile just a little. Team leader Jung and Sarah are startled later to find Young-joon making his own tea and cookies. They freeze in the doorway, unsure if they're dreaming or not. Miso sees him on his way back to his office with the tray, and she finds the office team having an emergency meeting about Young-joon's problematic behavior. Team leader Jung worries that Young-joon is showing them he doesn't need them, planning a layoff, and Miso wants to assure them that's not the case, but she can't without giving away the truth. She bites her lip, caught between wanting to protect them and keeping her secret. Young-joon sits to drink his tea, then he decides he wants to give it to Miso. He waves her in from where she's glowering at her desk, and he tells her he wants her to have the first tea he's ever made. It's so hot it scalds her tongue, and poor Young-joon tries to get her to open her mouth so he can check for burns. He fusses over her, completely forgetting where they are. Which is, of course, when they notice the office team watching them through the window. Young-joon brings everyone in to make an announcement, saying that today is a special day. Miso looks worried, but he ad-libs that it's team communication day. She breathes a silent sigh of relief as the team slowly nods. He does his 2-second eye contact bit in reverse to show them his grateful heart, and it's just as weird the other way around. The whole team looks confused, unsure whether to blink or laugh. It's so awkward that Miso stops him, and he tells the rest of the team that he'll show them his sincerity next year. They applaud politely, glad it's over. Back in their office, the team is rattled at Young-joon's odd behavior. Sarah thinks Miso is hiding something from them, but thankfully, she just gives Miso the credit for suggesting team communication day. Miso forces a tight smile, grateful but uneasy. They're all relieved that there doesn't seem to be a layoff coming after all, but team leader Jung is still unsettled by the way Young-joon's acting. He strokes his chin, deep in worried thought. Young-joon is extremely pleased with his own quick thinking when Miso gets back to his office, but she tells him that the way he's looking after his own needs makes her uncomfortable. She says it hurts her pride to get special treatment because of their relationship, and she asks him to let her keep taking care of things for him like she's done for 9 years. Her voice is steady, but her eyes are filled with emotion. He says he understands her point, but that he doesn't want her doing petty tasks, but she interrupts, upset at his use of the word petty. She says it's her job, and she takes pride in doing those tasks well, and that his word choice sounds like he doesn't respect what she does and hurts her feelings. She looks directly at him, hurt but honest. Young-joon looks taken aback, and he says that Miso is hurting his feelings, too. He tells her that he did those tasks, which weren't easy for him, because he wanted to be good to her. Miso deflates a little, but she asks him firmly not to do it again. She softens, but stands her ground. She says that this is work, and she needs to draw a line between the personal and the professional. She goes back to work, and Young-joon admits to himself that everything she said was correct, but he still feels bad about it. He leans back in his chair, sighing quietly. Later, Jia notices the icy atmosphere in the office. She assumes Miso upset Young-joon and asks if she can't apologize, but Miso says she didn't do anything to apologize for. Jia points out that Miso usually bends over backwards for Young-joon even when she hasn't done anything, which makes Miso think. Her expression shifts, unsure if she should keep standing firm or take a step back. Young-joon grumbles to Yoshik that Miso is entirely too rational, calling her an over-meticulous workaholic, and Yoshik gently points out that Young-joon used to like those things about her. He raises an eyebrow and reminds him, "Wasn't that exactly what you used to brag about?" Ignoring him, Young-joon just mutters that Miso doesn't understand men because she's never dated, to which Yoshik says, deadpan, "Neither have you." He says he feels like she turned a small problem into a huge disaster, but Yoshik says that happens in all relationships. He leans back with a sigh, explaining that small misunderstandings turn into big problems, then the relationship ends badly, like his marriage did. Young-joon asks if he's cursing them when they just started dating, and Yoshik drops the formalities, saying dramatically, "Young-joonia, don't let the fight drag on for too long. If you do, you'll break up, like me." His voice wavers between teasing and painfully sincere. Still concerned by what Jia said, Miso wonders why she used to apologize when she did nothing wrong, but it's not so easy now. She stares at her monitor, questioning why things feel so complicated. Young-joon asks awkwardly if his schedule is done for the day, internally begging Miso to say they need to make up, but she just says he's finished, hoping that he'll suggest a talk over dinner. They end up leaving, both of them frantically hoping the other will speak up. But neither finds the right words. Jia arrives at her new apartment, and the movers are almost finished, so she grabs a few things to help them. The only thing left is a fan, and when GWI Nam arrives a few minutes later, he thinks it's been abandoned, so he takes it. He shrugs and figures it's free for the taking. A passerby tells Jia that the guy in the rooftop apartment took the fan, so she storms upstairs to find him already using it while he works. JWI Nam tries to blame her for leaving it in the street, but Jia snaps that she was just moving her things in, and takes her fan back. She glares at him, grabs the fan, and storms off, completely unimpressed. She's settling in for a nice dinner of Chinese delivery when a knock on the door reveals GWI Nam, holding out a baggie with 5 cherry tomatoes. He says he carefully raised them like his own children, adorably sheepish as he says they're an apology and a welcome gift. His face turns red as he mumbles the words, clearly not used to apologizing. Jia wonders if she was too hard on him, and when she goes back to her dinner, she remembers GWI Nam saying she should share her delivery food with him to avoid waste. She takes half of her dinner upstairs for him, where he lets her know he prefers shrimp next time. Annoyed, Jia tries to take the food back, and their temporary truce is broken. She huffs, but deep down, she's more amused than angry. Miso mopes at home, depressed because she hasn't heard from Young-joon, so she's shocked to find him at her door. Young-joon struggles to think of what to say, until a voice yells, "I have a package for you," and he blurts, "I have a package for you." Completely flustered, he points at the real delivery guy behind him. Young-joon sees that it's kimchi, and he grabs the opening and says it would go well with the grilled pork skin he brought from her favorite place. Miso says she guesses he can come in, if he really wants to. She tries to act indifferent, but her smile gives her away. He even grilled the pork skins himself without setting anything on fire, looking very proud of that fact. He says he even got other favorites for her, practically throwing them at her squeamishly. He shuffles in awkwardly, avoiding eye contact as he hands them over. She thanks him, not just for the food, but for coming here, because she was missing him. Her voice softens, and for the first time that day, they both relax. Touched, he ducks his head shyly, but he gathers his courage to ask why she's so rational at work. He speaks gently, curious and vulnerable. Miso says that as the secretary, she has to be extra careful, but she apologizes for making him feel bad. She admits she may have gone too far and didn't mean to hurt him. Young-joon decides he wants her to call him Oppa, calling her Misoya and making her nearly spit out her drink. She chokes, wide-eyed, completely caught off guard. He waits eagerly, but Miso can't make herself call him Oppa yet. She hesitates, then mumbles an excuse as he pouts dramatically. Miso's sisters knock on the door, and though Young-joon is ready to meet her family and announce their new dating status, Miso shoves him into her closet. He tries to pull rank, but Miso says that right now he's her boyfriend, and shuts the door in his face. He mutters from behind the door, "This is abuse of power," but she ignores him. She hides Young-joon's shoes just as her sisters let themselves in, brandishing the exact same meal that Young-joon brought. Pilnam notices the two servings, immediately guessing that Young-joon was here again, and poor Young-joon has to listen to them badmouthing him. He clenches his jaw in disbelief, stuck inside and forced to hear every word. Miso sticks up for him, but her sisters aren't impressed that he brought pork skin and not something nicer. They forbid Miso to date him since they're from such different classes and because he's so narcissistic and selfish. They wave their chopsticks as they lecture, while Miso tries not to look too defensive. While they berate Miso, Young-joon starts to sweat and shake from being stuck in such a small space. His breathing gets shallow, and panic starts creeping in. He snaps out of it for a second when her sister mentions his sexual dysfunction, even glancing down at his own lap in surprise. His eyes widen, he looks down, shocked, and mouths, "What?" After eating, Miso kicks her sisters out, then runs to the closet to find Young-joon absolutely furious. He wants to know why she told him all the negative things about him, but not the positive things, snapping that bringing her pork skins and her favorites wasn't selfish. His voice cracks with emotion, still flushed from what he overheard. Miso apologizes, but Young-joon says they should stop before they get in another fight. He pulls her down into his lap and tells her that she's so pretty, he can't stay mad, and he kisses her right there in the closet. Her frown fades as he cups her cheek, and soon they're wrapped up in each other, the tension forgotten. The next morning at work, Miso gets a text from Seogyeon apologizing for putting her in an awkward position at the book concert, and that he wants to talk to her. As soon as Young-joon arrives, Miso shows him the text, and she says she wants to talk to Seogyeon and end things with him. Young-joon tries not to look too pleased, but it's obvious he approves. She sees Seogyeon for coffee, and he says he's been feeling bad because she's been avoiding his calls. Miso tells him that she wasn't meeting with him with the intention to strike up a relationship. She says she was thankful that he helped her in a scary situation, but that's all she feels for him. She speaks gently but firmly, making it clear that her heart belongs elsewhere. Seogyeon asks if this has anything to do with Young-joon, and when Miso confirms it, Seogyeon grows angry. His voice rises as he says that he's suffered all his life because of Young-joon, but Young-joon shows up and asks if he's tired of telling that story yet. His tone is calm, but his words cut deep. Seogyeon says he still clearly remembers that incident, which is why he lives in pain, but Young-joon feels fine because he erased the memories he didn't like. His eyes blaze with frustration as he accuses his brother of simply forgetting the trauma. Young-joon just tells Seogyeon to stop calling Miso and talking nonsense, and he takes Miso and leaves. As they walk to his car, she asks if he doesn't feel bad for Seogyeon, but Young-joon says that the past Seogyeon obsesses about doesn't exist in his memory, and it's hypocritical to feel sorry about something you don't remember. He says it flatly, not unkindly, just honestly. He asks not to discuss that time ever again, and Miso agrees. She nods silently, sensing the weight behind his request. Instead of driving back to work, Young-joon takes Miso for a drive. They end up going for a walk by the river, and Young-joon gives Miso a burgundy sweater from his car to keep her warm. He wraps it around her shoulders gently. She says he looks good in burgundy, which reminds him that a designer once said the same thing. He smiles faintly at the memory. He says the designer was a friend of his mother's and used to make clothes just for him. Miso remembers that Young-joon's mother said something similar about a designer who made clothes just for her son, and even made the burgundy cardigan he was wearing when he was kidnapped. Her brows furrow slightly as the pieces begin to connect. Young-joon yawns, and he's quick to assure Miso that he's not bored, he just feels comfortable with her. "You make me feel relaxed," he says softly, stretching a little. She says he should rest in the car, and though he knows it's bad form on a date, the idea appeals to him. While he catnaps, Miso remembers more of what his mother said about her son who was kidnapped, and remembers that at one point mom called him Arhyun. The name echoes in her mind. She wonders if, when she was a child, she misunderstood Oppa when he said his name. Softly, she says to Young-joon, "Saghyun Oppa," and in his sleep, Young-joon answers. The quiet response sends a chill through her. Suddenly he wakes, and his eyes go cold. He stares at her in silence, stunned and shaken by what she just said.